That's them not doing their jobs. That's them not paying attention to the statistics, the numbers that matter. They're hurting families.
You're watching Kenny B Unchained. Check out the full video on YouTube. Now let's get back to it.
People want to jump right into the bandwagon of hating Trump, and it's like, why jump into a hate bandwagon? What fun is that? What good is that? You're just trying to find the next thing to hate him about. It's been constant for 4 years, and he's an outsider. And why do you think we elected an outsider? The insiders are crap. They've been destroying this country for years. What are Congress's approval ratings? Let me look that up right now, actually. What are Congress's approval ratings? I know they're not good. I know they're way worse than Trump's approval ratings, right? So let's see. Gallup. Let's see what Gallup has to say. Do you approve of Congress as far as May 28th? 71% disapprove. And they have this going all the way back, too. So let's go back. Okay, so 2017, same time. 81% disapproval rating. Let's keep going back. 2016, August. Oh, no, actually 2015, August. 82 disapproval rating. Let's keep going back. 14, October 13, 85 disapproval rating. Keep going, right? We're in Obama years now. I'm not just picking out any one that's like on the highest on the list here either, right? Although he had a couple. February 2012, 86% disapproval. But then you got, May 2011, 70% disapproval. And it just keeps going back, right? And like after Obama was elected, it got a little bit better. It's like in the 60s, but it's like 60% of the country disapproves of the job you're doing. And these people are still in office, the people that have been in there for decades, for their careers. How are they still in office if they have these kind of ratings? Like, this is horrendous. Like, I'll show you right on my phone. I don't know how good you can see it on the camera. Maybe I have to turn the angle a little bit. But when you go into it, it's like, it's insane. 80, 78, 71, 69. And it just keeps going. It's just trash. Trash disapproval ratings. Insane. In the Bush years, look at the Bush years. Bush years, it looks like it was a little bit better. It was like under the 60s, down to the 50s in the beginning. The millennia. Let's try the millennia. Let's see what the millennia says. Oh, the millennia, year 2000, 56% approval rating. So for the past 20 years, Congress has been crap. Right? Even when you look in the 90s. Because it's not often you'll find statistics that going back this far when you're looking for stuff today. They make it very hard to find stuff when you're looking like Google and stuff like that, when you're trying to look for crime rates and stuff like and stuff. I know when I was in college, being a criminal justice major, like I was able to pull up crime statistics over the past 30, 40 years, no problem like that. And you can look at the trends, you can look at what's been going on at that time, then you can write your paper. And today I have such a hard time even finding that information. You look for charts and graphs. I had this teacher back in, what is this? This is like 06. I think it was like some mathematics class. What was it? It was a statistics class that I took. I believe it was Briarcliff College, right, which was like a little dump of a college. I mean, not really. It was like a private school. They ended up going out of business. So what's that degree worth? Probably nothing. It's a piece of paper anyway. I don't care about paper. And in a statistics class, I remember the teacher saying that stuff to be aware of. People will take graphs and trends, and they will paint and target those graphs to show you a picture that they want to show you. They'll like manipulate the graph. So if I show you a 30-year span and you see this, but if I show you a 10-year span where it's only going like this, I could paint the picture that horrible things are happening. This person's bad, that person's bad, this has to change, that has to change, that has to change, without addressing the entire trends over time. So you can be very spinning it in your own favor, which is happening a lot today. with a lot of different statistics. So it's stuff to be aware of when you see somebody talking like, oh, for the past 5 years, this has been like this. Well, if you look over the trends for the past 20, 30 years, you might be able to see that like, oh, it goes up like this and then it comes back down. It's been riding the roller coaster like this the whole time. So we're only on the uptick, but it's going to tick back down because that's how it's been doing it. That's how the trend looks. And the trends are very important. Like, we shouldn't be jumping in to change our country over certain things if we're not paying attention to the historical trend, because that's going to create a problem. That's going to be very dangerous for everybody, especially when you don't take history into account on what's going on with the history. History is very important. Statistics are very important. Very important. We need to be on the ball with this. We don't need to be posting 20-year-old whoever on the news, on social media with their opinion. Their opinion's irrelevant. The statistics are what matters. So if we can start getting back to that level of things, I know people have been ignoring statistics for decades, especially with the civil rights movement and certain policies that passed, like the war on poverty. They just ignore the statistics, even though the statistics are horrendous. They talk about how one time, if you look up like a couple of people I watch, like, oh, I know I was going to remember some more of them. You got Milton Friedman. I watch a ton of lectures with him. And they like to go over the trends, and they were big proponents like against the minimum wage, and they felt like the minimum wage law, what it did is it took people that were unqualified to earn that much and force them to earn that much, therefore forcing less people to be hired and keeping more people out of work, so in adverse effect raising the unemployment rate. So I think it's very interesting, especially when you look back and you'll research the thinkers of those times, what they were thinking, what they were talking about, what statistics they were using, and it's very interesting. I know between like Friedman, Sowell, Walter Williams, they talk a lot about how things were before the civil rights era, before they passed the war on poverty, before they got into the war on drugs, before Biden's '94 crime bill. And that's the guy the Democrats want to elect. I'll get into that in a minute. So, before all those times. And they start talking about the single motherhood rates, which the family unit is probably the most important aspect of our country. Because that's where the kids are born and that's how they're raised up. So when you're talking chicken and the egg kind of theory, like this is the most important part. This kid is born and he's in this household. What is he going to learn in that household? What kind of attention is he going to be given? What kind of discipline are they going to have? All right, so they talk about the single motherhood rates going back. So you're talking going back before the civil rights era, before the 60s, before the war on poverty. And they're talking about single motherhood rates for Black America being at like 12, 13%. They're over 70 now. What? It's like, how do you let it get that far? That far? How do you let it go from this to that? That's our politicians being complicit. That's them not doing their jobs. That's them not paying attention to the statistics, the numbers that matter. They're hurting families. And then they talk about the white community, because they always had everything divided into, at a certain point, they had at one point they had the country divided into red, black, and white. Red to be the natives, black to be Black Americans, and white to be whites. Like, I don't know why you would do it like that. I mean, do you want the unity picture? But that's neither here nor there. And they were talking about the white community, which was at like 3%. And now it's over 30%. So to say this is systematic racism, that's false. It's systematic oppression. That's what happened. That's what the war on poverty did. It systematically oppressed everybody. And then they went from there to Nixon passing the war on drugs and just throwing men in jail. Who becomes daddy? The government. The government becomes daddy. And we're going to give you a check. We're going to give you housing. We're going to pay for each child. We're going to take care of education too. That's going so well today. The kids that are coming up today, they don't know nothing.